Good night, my TikTok friends, my brethren, my peeps, and my sisters. What's going on with you today? Let me tell you something. Let me say this one time there, one time only there. So if you're an independent journalist, you feel me? And you educate workers about the laws of the laws of living there. Let me tell you, all right? There's a difference between you filming in a public location, right? And you're filming in a location where it's private. Where it says private property, you cannot. It means let's get to that pace. If it's a public property, you can record outside the public property, right? But if it's a private property, you cannot record in a private facility. You want to get these workers fired because you want to control the American community. You don't control one thing about me, sir. Me do the same work as you, and me don't record private property. If me I walk past the private property, me I walk past it. But me not gonna record the private property. You remember that? So if me walk past Freedom Road Boulevard there, me I go walk past Freedom Road Boulevard there. You feel me? But let me tell you something, my brothers and my sisters. You cannot feel say you want to call the police, you want to get the police involved in your situation that you don't have no jurisdiction of. And you say you're an independent journalist and you're doing a contact for a story. If you are an independent journalist and you're doing a contact for a story, right? You need to request a FOIA request in 6 months in advance to let them know that you're coming on the date where you make an appointment with the mayor of the county to make the appointment to have to film inside a government property building. If it's government property building and it's paid by the government taxes that we pay out of, you not doesn't have no authority of filming inside of a government property building. If you want to film outside the government property building, that's okay. You can film. But when it come on to like inside the government property building, you cannot film inside a government property building. And people try to say you're educating a person, and they don't understand. They don't understand certain type of things like that. You exercise your First Amendment rights. Yeah, I agree with you to exercise your First Amendment rights. But the disrespect is you disrespecting the workers that work for the company. You cannot be coming into their company, the company that they work for, and cause a disturbance and recording people that's trying to handle their business. If you don't have any business at the facility, do not come in there to cause a big commotion or a scene or something like that, because that's not your place in line. Your place in line is for you to be a journalist. You need to have a qualifications to be a journalist. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not qualified to be a journalist, you're causing a big scene where they have to call the police and you exercise your First Amendment right. You have a right to exercise that, but there's a catch to that too. There's consequences of practicing that. And then I'm gonna tell you the consequences is they call the cops, they accuse them of trespassing. You cannot film in government property, number one, because the government owns the property, and number two, the taxpayer pay for it, and number three, certain information is confidential that you cannot film. And that's what it is. If the workers feel that you are causing a big commotion or a scene at the facility, you cannot be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to respect the workers that work there too. And you cause them to lose their job for this shit because you want to call the police because they you assaulted them or they assaulted you. And another thing is like, listen, I'm not gonna do that, bro, because if I'm recording in a place, I'm gonna go and I record in a community, right? But if it's in a community, I can record in the community, right? If it's a street corner, you can record on the sidewalk. But when it goes into a building, no. If you ask the supervisor permission to do that, they will allow you to do it unless number one, right? It's done. Number one, you need to fill out. I think it's a confidential release form to give them permission to film you, and it's like a paperwork where you have to fill out to give them permission to film you. If you don't want to be filmed, you could say you don't want to be filmed, but they cannot. You cannot film them while they do handling personal conflict business. It's unprofessional. It's not right, and you are violating their amendment right as well. You can't talk about, okay, I'm gonna film somebody and get away with it. Nah, but you're violating their amendment rights too. You know what I'm saying? When I That's the reason why I rather do this work at night, because during the day, when you're doing it during the day, it's like, listen, I'm doing it during the day, and then people say, "Oh, why you filming me?" They take the camera, snatch it out your face, and you spraying pepper spraying them. That's bullcrap. Stop doing that. You're acting like a child. Act professional when you're doing this work. You see what I'm doing? You see the people have respect for me because they think that, okay, you're not filming them. No, you're not recording them. But at the end of the day, you show respect. It doesn't matter if it's not. It doesn't matter if you raising your voice and you want to fight somebody and want to be rude. I'm talking to that dude that always won the camera working for YouTube and say he exercised his First Amendment rights and shit. You have a right to your own opinion of whatever, but when it come onto your anger and your attitude, cut that bullshit out, bro. You talk about you're an independent journalist and you want to start up a lot of the nonsense and shit like that. Cut that BS out, bro. Let the workers them do their job. Stop getting them fired because they got a family to feed and they got their kids to feed and they getting fired for their job over this bullshit because you want to file a complaint. Stop filing complaints. If they're not allowing you to film, then you're a respectful citizen. You leave the building and don't come back. That's it. If you come back, if you come back and whatever, you can't accuse. Let me say, it goes to every journalist in every state. You understand? If you filming in California and you see a person eating their meal they on a date and you filming them on the sidewalk, you can film on the sidewalk. But when it come on to standing in front of people's business and filming the people coming out their business, that's unprofessional right there. You need to act elegant and be professional when it comes on to certain type of things. If I feel like, okay, if I'm sitting at a restaurant and you filming me while I'm sitting at a restaurant, that will be wrong of me. I will not do that because you'll be rude. And if I say, all right, if I be like, okay, I'm sitting down when I'm having a date and whatever, and you coming down the block with a camera in your hand, I will tell you this. It's unprofessional. You're not requested to film me, but you need to stop having an attitude problem because the attitude ain't gonna get you nowhere in life. And you need to understand this too. If you gotta respect the person's privacy too, you cannot be out there filming somebody without getting consent. Number one, and number two, you need to exercise. You need to exercise the privacy, the right to privacy. There's an amendment called the right to freedom of privacy. And that's what, right? I'm gonna say that again. It's a right to freedom of privacy. And that's what it is, right? Ain't no freedom of privacy. And that you need to respect the freedom of privacy of the person. You have a right to record, but there is certain consequences and certain outlines that you have to, there's certain guidelines that you need to follow. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reason why I do this at night. I don't do this during the day because during the daytime, the workers that are trying to do their work, and I do it when they leave work, and I don't have to bother with people calling the police and whatever like that. So I rather do it at night. But during the daytime, I relax and I cool off, and then at night I just go out and record and do my work and whatever. But at that day, you need to respect the people. That's all I'm asking you. Respect the people and respect their privacy. If they don't want to be filmed, don't film them. You exercise your rights as freedom of the privacy. So at the day, you freedom of privacy, and you gotta understand that. Don't be doing that because that's very rude. You feel me? So I'm sharing that with you. So let's go. Let's go. We going. Let's go. We going, and we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it happen. So let's go. We going at it. All right. Let's go. All right. Let's go.